What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Stop the Count podcast. We'll start off this episode by talking about the UFC 286 fight card. I do believe the fight card lived up to expectations and more. First, we'll start off by talking about a prospect that highlighted last week. That prospect is Muhammad Mokaev. He fought to a great third round submission. He was having some trouble, but ultimately ended the fight early by rear naked choke. This did cost him a high price, as he did have to get out of a knee bar he was in. And let me tell you, it was so tight you wouldn't believe a knee can bend that far back. He was really seen grimacing when he was able to get out of it. And he was able to grapple with him, but after the fight, he was just seen limping around the ring. It wasn't the best sight to see, but it was still a great fight by Muhammad. Now I'll be talking about Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze. I want to mention before anything that the judging on the whole card was not the best, but it didn't take away from the great fights that were on there. Now back to Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze. As the fight started, I feel as if Roman was able to hurt Marvin early, but Marvin was coming back and kickboxing nicely, but towards the endRoman was hurting Marvin with right hands towards the end of the first round. Now as the second round started, I believe it was more of a kickboxing match between the two, while Roman did attempt to take a takedown. He was unsuccessful and I believe Marvin was landing the more cleaner punches in the second round. Now, as the third started, it was almost the same, but this round, I believe Roman was landing more harder punches than he was in the two previous rounds. Although Marvin was still coming back with the cleaner shots, higher accuracy. With all this being said, I believe Marvin did come out victorious, as I believe Roman wasn't attempting enough takedowns and getting into the clinch and working like that. Ultimately, this is what led to Marvin winning by decision. Now we'll talk about Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. It started off as a very technical boxing match. The speed of Fiziev was making a huge difference, making Gaethje really struggle. Now Justin's chin was on display as Fiziev was hitting him with very good knees right on the chin. He did also clip Fiziev in the first, but I do believe Fiziev won that round. Now in the second, I feel as if Fiziev was focusing more for the body with kicks and knees, but he did take an unintentional eye poke, and it looked as if he really struggled from that point on, and Justin just took control of the fight. Now, in that round, Justin was really clipping him with good punches, hitting him with great kicks to the knees, the legs, creating cuts around his eyes, hurting Fiziev. And for the start of the third, it started off great with both fighters hurting each other like almost right away in the first minute. Gaethje did wobble a little bit during their little exchange, and the whole round was just an all-out slugfest, both just trading shots. It was Fiziev looking worse as he was bleeding really bad from his eyes, and then the unthinkable happened. Justin Gaethje shot for a takedown, and he got a takedown. I did not believe this was gonna happen. And like the great Daniel Cormier once said, Justin Gaethje, you are my hero. All this led to a Justin Gaethje majority decision. As I stated before, the judging was not the best. I feel as if it was more of a unanimous decision towards Justin, but that's just my opinion. Next, we'll be talking about the main event. Starting off, they both started off really by just feeling themselves out, by extending jabs, leg kicks. Up until around a minute left in that round, Leon really hurt Kamaru with body kicks, two specific body kicks that I feel really did hurt Usman. Now the second started off with about the same as the first. Leon hurting Usman with a knee in the clinch. As it seemed, Leon's speed was a big advantage for him. Usman was able to recoup, recuperate, landing a takedown with nothing coming from it really, as Leon was able to stand up pretty quickly. And the third started with Leon getting taken down and controlled by Usman, ultimately leading to Leon grabbing the fence, trying to stay on his feet, and getting a point taken away. You know, the fourth started off about the same with Leon looking for kicks. He was really looking for kicks the whole fight, almost. He would throw some headshots towards Usman, but he was really just attempting those leg kicks. Leon's takedown defense the whole fight was on point. The fifth was really a whole round of Usman attempting takedowns, Leon defending them. They'd stand up, exchange a little, and then right back to the clinch where Usman would attempt a takedown and Leon would defend it nicely. All this led to a Leon Edwards win by decision. I believe this was a very tough fight to score. Personally, I had it as a Leon Edwards win, but a draw wouldn't have been the worst thing. And almost immediately right after the fight, the pound for pound number one fighter Islam Makhachev called out Leon Edwards for a fight in October on the Abu Dhabi card. I believe this would be a great fight between two great competitors. Although in the press conference right after the fights, Dana White confirmed that Colby Covington will be fighting Leon Edwards next, not Islam Makhachev, not anybody. Who do you guys want to see Usman fight next, and what do you think Usman will even do? As Dana White has already stated that Bilal Muhammad will fight Shavkat Rakhmonov. What do you guys think? Who do you guys think should have been challenging Leon for the title next? Do you guys think it was right for Kobe to jump Bilal like that? Really, as Kobe's coming off of almost a 2-year layoff. Now for Muhammad Mokaev, he is getting an MRI on his knee, so we will stay tuned for that to see if he was okay and if he will be able to fight soon. Now that would be it for the UFC fight card, as we'll get into the DAZN boxing card. The zone boxing card on Friday started off horribly. Horrible. A whole bunch of unprofessional fighters were at the weigh-ins. The Golden Boy fighters they really, the guys that they centered the whole card around just let everybody down. Zurdo Ramirez came in at least 5 pounds overweight. There are some reports saying that it was more than that. ultimately ultimately leading to his fight being canceled, which led to Jojo Diaz and Hesta being moved up. The fight was originally supposed to be a 135-pound fight, but then reports came out that Jojo Diaz was also over the weight and wouldn't be able to make it. So this led to the fight getting put at a 140-pound weight limit. Jojo came in at 139 pounds. Hesta came in at 137. But, this is just major bullshit from the whole Golden Boy stable. Their image, as if it couldn't be worse, has probably been, it's now, in my opinion, being seen as the worst boxing promotion right now. And ultimately, from the fight, Hesta did get a split decision victory over Jojo Diaz. What do you guys think Jojo should do next? I've been reading a lot, and I think people are saying he should retire. he should go down to 130, which obviously he can't. He can barely make 135. Also in some boxing news, the WBC has ordered Yordenis Ugas and Mario Barrios to fight for the interim welterweight title. What do you guys think about this fight? Who do you guys think will win? And a report has also came out that Luis Alberto Lopez El Venado is set to fight Mickey Conlon on May 27th. What do you guys think about this fight? I believe this is a very, very good fight. With all this being said, this will be the end of this episode. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Twitter at StopTheCount10. See you guys later on this week as we preview a great, great fight weekend.